This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with the Mark Weber.
Dub them east.
And we are back for another edition of the Onside Kick here on Most Valuable Podcast. If you're new to the show, this is the podcast on Most Valuable Podcast where we talk about all the football news. We break down the biggest news from the world of NFL this week. That's something I haven't said in a while. World of football. The world of the NFL. But Mark, before we get into it, a little bit of house cleaning. Two things that I have to kind of get out to you guys. First off, thank you guys for watching, subbing, liking, listening. But check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. We got some cool rewards on there for you. You can get a Patreon podcast, video and audio. You can get yourself on a podcast every single month. Go check it out. Link down in the description. Also, we did it last week. We'll be doing it again this week. We're doing a live fantasy football show each and every Friday. 7 o'clock Central Time is when we will do that in the evening. You got to go to twitch.tv/Most Valuable Podcast. However, the show will be up on YouTube that next morning on Saturday for you guys if you cannot catch it live. So, house cleaning over. And Mark, the season started.
Yep.
It is now back. Football's finally here, baby. It is officially back.
And we're going to talk about the very, very beginning of it.
Yes, we're going to talk about the very beginning. There were a few things from the thing that I noticed, and I didn't notice this until I listened to the Dan Patrick show. This year, when you hear announcers, there's one phrase I heard a lot on Sunday, but it didn't kick in until Monday. How many announcers did you hear this weekend say the phrase, set the edge? You got to set the edge. Oh, they didn't set the edge. That is in the Dan Patrick show. It's why I kind of bring this up. They said that is going to be the phrase for the year. Like announcers every single year have that phrase. Set the edge seems like it's going to be the one.
They all got the memo and said, say this as much as possible.
And I mean, they had a couple for like, oh, this year it was that, this year it was this. But I was like, I did hear that a lot on Sunday. I did hear a lot of guys say, oh, we didn't set the edge on that one. But we got a jam-packed show. Going to be talking about 3 topics, giving our picks for next week's game at the end. What we're talking about, first off, the Kansas City Command and Chiefers. Did they show that they were Super Bowl bound, or are they a legit favorite is what I should say. Then we're going to talk about the Bengals, and this is our Kevin Sumlin topic. Is Marvin Lewis going to get fired? The Primetime Podcast has Kevin Sumlin. The Onside Kick has Marvin Lewis.
For about 5 years now.
Then we're going to look at the New York Giants and Adrian Peterson to see if maybe a trade could be done to help out both Adrian Peterson and the New York Football Giants. But Mark, let's get into the first one. Let's start where you said, the very beginning, game 1 of the season. The Chiefs go into Foxborough. The Chiefs win 42-27, which to me was symbolic only because of, did you see that celebration the Patriots had? Where
that
it's basically,
was ridiculous.
Hey, look at all my rings. Look at
This
Mark
was insane.
Wahlberg.
I mean, they came in there and they were going to rub salt in that wound. I mean, and it's weird because
that's basically what they did.
They flopped it onto the table. And it's like, it was weird because it's like, you're not playing the Falcons.
Yeah.
You're playing the Chiefs. So I don't know what all this bragging is about. And I totally get it. You just won a Super Bowl. You deserve to brag.
Well, they did beat the Chiefs en route to that Super Bowl victory.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, not in the playoffs, though.
I thought they did.
No, they played the Steelers.
The Steelers beat the Chiefs.
But I mean, they beat the team that beat the Chiefs.
In the field goal game.
Yeah.
The game that no one could score a touchdown.
But, because we had that discussion if the Chiefs could do it, and we both thought probably not. Yeah. But anyways, so it was just so funny to me. They were rubbing that salt in the wound. They start off by showing the scoreboard.
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, really? Really, we're going to go there?
It felt tacky. I get it, and they deserve it because they are the champions, but it felt tacky. Mark Wahlberg talking about this, the probability was 0.00000001. That's not what it was, but still, they said the probability of it, and I'm like, ugh. Mark Wahlberg telling me about probability and math. That's the last thing I want to hear. But anyways.
It didn't seem like the Patriot way to me.
It didn't. It didn't. For a team that's all about the Patriot way.
Like, and part of me at first was, and also.
Which is classy.
When they revealed the banner and they had all 5 of them up there, my dumbass goes, didn't they say they didn't have room for it?
They found room.
Didn't they say they didn't have room for the 5th one?
That was like saying, oh, where am I going to put yet another Lexus in my garage and driveway?
But we're not talking about the Patriot in this one. Everyone wants to talk about the Patriots. What's wrong with Tom Brady? What's wrong with Bill Belichick? What's wrong with the defense? But the Chiefs kick some ass. I want to focus on the Chiefs. And this was a complete, at first I thought, hey, it's going to go the Patriot way. They get out on top with Gillislee. Kareem Hunt on the first play of the game for him fumbles the ball, and I'm sitting there going, uh-oh.
I'm sitting there going, this guy's in my starting lineup. What the fuck?
But then everything seemed to just turn on for the Chiefs. Alex Smith, perfect game, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Kareem Hunt, 148 yards on the ground.
39 points in our fantasy league.
And a touchdown. You like to rub that in my face.
It was beautiful.
Tariq Hill even had a long touchdown. Kareem Hunt also had 2 touchdowns through the air. I want to ask you this, though, with the Chiefs. Based on the performance you saw last Thursday night, did the Chiefs come out week 1 and say, we are legit Super Bowl favorites?
Based on what I saw in week 1, and I'm going to give a little bit of a cop-out answer in a second, but first let me do the bold thing.
Okay.
Based on what I saw on week 1, without a doubt, the Chiefs have the Super Bowl favorite locked up. They proved that they are, I shouldn't say they proved. They showed me some evidence that they are the best team in their division. They looked better than anybody else in that division. They looked like they are the most impressive team in the AFC. There's a couple arguments that could be made, but they look like they are the best team in the AFC. And they looked better than, with the exception of one team, looked better than all the teams on the NFC side as well.
What's your one team?
The Packers.
Oh, okay.
They looked better than every team by far. Packers are the only ones that put up a fight. They look like a complete team. They had the best running game. They had the best passing game. They had one of the better defenses. They were playing they're playing the Patriots, so it makes sense that Tom Brady's going to score touchdowns. They weren't going to shut them out. Only one team gets shut out week 1, and that's the Bengals. But
not even the Jets got shut out.
Nope, the Jets at least put up a fight.
However,
not even Tolzien's Colts got shut out.
However, the Jets did tackle themselves. There was one play where 2 Jets tackled each other.
It happens. Sometimes you tackle yourself. Who knows?
It's a Jet thing.
But to me, the Chiefs in week 1 looked better than everybody else.
Oh yeah,
way better than everybody else. But my caveat and my cop out is it was 1 week. Let me see him do it again.
We don't want to and that's the thing. That's the thing I hate about the NFL, and I hate about all of football week 1. How many times do we overreact to teams based on a big performance? And I'm not saying the Chiefs are a fluke and they shouldn't have won this game. No, they came out, they played up to the moment, and was it a complete domination from top to bottom? No. The Patriots had the lead in this game at some points, but when you put it in the end, basically the fourth quarter, when you outscore Tom Brady and his Patriots 21-0 in the fourth, just saying, you know what? Game over, Tom. Try to come back from this deficit in the fourth.
And hey,
guess what? We show up all 4 quarters.
We're going to score again. And wait, watch. We're going to do it another time too.
And this is the thing, and I was talking to Brandon as me and him were watching the game, and part of me was like, you know what? And I said this to him. I'm like, if the Chiefs win this game, Mark and I are talking about the Chiefs on the onside kick. If they lose this game, we're not going to talk about this game at all, because this game could have totally been a typical Chief game where they do enough to hang in the game, lose by a little bit.
Yeah.
But instead it was do enough, hang in there. They only scored 1 touchdown per quarter. They were down, 27-24 going into the fourth quarter? And then they said,
27-21.
27-21. And then they said, you know what? let's turn it on. They did enough to hang in there and then turned it on when they needed to get the win. If they can do that all 16 games, this is going to be a scary team.
Well, the thing that's interesting about this team is, they have a good defense. Obviously defense was...
Which took a big hit, though. Eric Berry he's out. He's got an Achilles injury. He ain't coming back this year.
And they played the Patriots. So, I mean, people are going to knock the fact that they gave up 27 points, but they played the Patriots.
Yeah.
So they got the good running game. They got the rookie. They got West. They had this good passing game. Hill's a monster. He's a freak of an athlete.
Especially when he can turn on that speed.
Yeah, Travis Kelce's there. And Alex Smith, here's the thing that impressed me most. Alex Smith, we've talked about on this podcast, that he's not going to lose you games, but he's probably not going to win you too many games. He will win you some, but he's not going to win you too many. This game to me was not what the announcers said of Alex Smith turning it on, proving he's not a game manager. This game to me was Alex Smith saying, that young kid Mahomes looked pretty good.
I was going to ask you about that.
And I am shutting down this conversation now.
I was going to that. You're reading my mind, Mark, because
that's what this was.
That's what I was thinking it, because I was like, you know what? And I believe that I believe that Al Michaels had mentioned it once in the game of like, well, you know what? They drafted the young kid. Everyone's been saying this is going to be Alex Smith his last year with the Chiefs, then they'll hand it over to Mahomes. Part of me was like, hey, you know what? It was an Andy Reid Chief game of like, you know what? Keep it close, and let's turn it on at the right point. And especially the Donta Hightower injury swung the game in the Chiefs' favor because the Patriot defense can't do anything if Hightower's not out there with them. It was evident when he wasn't on the field, but Alex Smith has lost a job before to a younger quarterback. That younger quarterback he lost that job to went on to go to a Super Bowl. Yes, they lost that Super Bowl, but Alex Smith could have been that Super Bowl quarterback.
Yeah.
This was, to me, Alex Smith going, no, this is my job. We're not talking about this the entire year, and we're going to win some games. Because... like during the offseason, and I'll even put myself in the category, I underestimated this Chief team. Now, could they go 10-6, like I said, second in the division? Yeah, they could. It's only week 1. However, based on what I saw, if they keep this up, they're not only winning the West, they're probably going to win the entire AFC if they keep this kind of a performance up.
What was most impressive from Alex Smith was, of course, the Tyreek Hill 75-yard touchdown.
Which just tore it open.
Yeah, that was basically the beginning of the end in my eyes. I mean, the Patriots still scored after that, but that was the beginning of the end. Now, that put them up 21-17. Yeah. What I see really is the fact that this team, the way they look like a 12 or a 13 win team in week 1. Yeah. Now, the thing I'll say is, yes, we were both lower on the Chiefs. I mean, we both are high on the Raiders. I still had the Chiefs as a playoff team.
Yeah, I did.
They're still there. Neither one of us were that low on them. But this, to me, and those predictions are predictions. They are what they are. But this, to me, takes the Chiefs from being that 5th or 6th seed and puts them to like the 2nd, possibly even the 1st seed, and winning their division. This game was impressive enough to show that this Chiefs team can get it done. They're not going to necessarily be the flashiest team out there. They never are. But they've got some deadly weapons.
No, and I mean, the big thing is the 1-2 seed, if they win the West, yes. I'm still in that department, I'm still going to wait until we get to those Raider-Chief games for that. But the big thing I was thinking of during this game is, when it came to our predictions, I was like, and I thought of this especially on Sunday, watching the Raiders kind of control that game against the Titans and win that one. I was just looking at them like, I should have had the Chiefs beating the Titans in the wild card. That was a slap in the face to the Chiefs. Like, that's how much I underestimated you. Not only are you the 5th seed at 10-6, I had you losing on the road in Tennessee, which after week 1, I believe if those two teams went together, a lot of people would be picking the Chiefs to beat the Titans.
Right now, yeah. I mean, I still think that the Titans will turn it on. I think the Titans are a better team than they showed against the Raiders. But to me, really, with this Chiefs team, I mean, we'll spoil something for you guys when you look at our power rankings on mostvaluablepodcasts.com. But the Chiefs are the top. Yeah. They're the number one. And it was undisputed between every voting member.
Yeah, every voting member this week
number one.
Put them number one. But, and this is going back to something you said. The two most dominant teams this week, I get your Packers, but I was thinking a different NFC North team after this week.
Who's that?
The Vikings.
No.
I get we played the Saints, and that Saint defense is horrible, but that to me was like the Seahawks-Packer game was boring to watch, and I get that it's like the Packers did what they needed to do to win that game, but I expected the Packers. Watching that game, I'm just sitting there going, come on, Aaron, blow this team out. Like this team, neither team played up to their potential. The Seahawks
he's playing one of the best defenses in the league.
Let's be honest, the Seahawks overall played like they usually do on the road in September, which is not that good. I believe now they're 2-10 in road games in the month of September, but that was my thought is the Chiefs are number one, the Vikings, although they weren't number two in my power rankings, but it was based off of how they looked. Chiefs number one, Vikings number two. Now I
Vikings
know
look really good.
Power rankings are a little bit different. I didn't have the Vikings that high, but the eye test, that's what I looked for. But no, this Chief team, if they can play like they did in this one, Super Bowl favorites. And the thing that I think the biggest thing that'll be looking forward is two things for me. One, can Alex Smith have more of these performances? Those games last year where it was like, close game, they lost it. Can you flip those this year? But also, how do you overcome the injury to Eric Berry? Because that's a big reason why I thought they won this game. Because basically Eric Berry took Gronk out of the game. He took him out of the game, which sucked for me because I had Gronk in fantasy.
There's a lot of things wrong with your fantasy team. But
Rex Burkhead in the starting lineup was also one of those.
Sorry, I had Zay Jones in my starting lineup, but I had Kareem Hunt, so it didn't matter. And Zeke. I just want to throw out there that Zeke's on my team, and he's playing all season.
Yeah.
So
unless he gets an injury.
Yeah. And I dropped not DeMarco Murray, DMC.
McFadden?
Yeah, McFadden. I dropped him.
Because Morris is the number two.
Yeah. But I had that nice, hey, maybe you're going to play if Zeke gets hurt. Nope, now you're dropped.
Yeah.
Get off my team. But anyways, the thing that we need out of Alex Smith as well, and I hate to put it all on him, but, and there was some great yards after catch in this game, but this team needs to continue scoring touchdowns. I don't sound so simple, but it's just been a couple years back where this team could not score touchdowns. Was it just 2 years ago or 3 years ago that they didn't have a single wide receiver touchdown?
It was 2 years. 2 years ago, and then last year that playoff game against the Steelers where it was all field goals.
Yeah, this team needs to score a touchdown, and this was a great one. And like I said, that's why it sounds kind of dumb because Alex Smith threw 4 touchdowns, I believe. That's what we need. We don't necessarily need him to throw 500 yards, 5 touchdowns a game, but if he can throw that 300 to 400 range, 3-4 touchdowns a game, this team will be unstoppable. And I know that's obviously if you're throwing 3 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns a game, no doubt you're unstoppable. But you guys get what I'm saying.
You know who else was a big loser from this game? Spencer Ware.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why, right? If Kareem Hunt keeps playing halfway near what he did on Thursday, I'm sorry, Spencer, you lost your job. It's one of those things where you'll get players that say you never lose your job to injury unless the other guy plays really fucking good and takes the job from you.
I mean, we just saw that they joked about it in the Bears-Falcons game, but with Jordan Howard. He didn't play those first 3 games because Langford was the starting quarterback or starting running back, and then Jordan Howard came and took it. And here's the funny thing: where's Jeremy Langford now?
Yeah,
he's not even on the team.
Cut.
Yeah, he's not even on the team anymore. I don't think Spencer Ware's getting cut, but he might find himself in a dispensable role.
I think Langford got picked up by Baltimore's practice squad.
Oh, that's
Baltimore.
Sad.
Now he's on Baltimore's practice squad.
Practice squad. You were supposed to be a starting running back last year. Now you're on a practice squad.
Yeah,
life's tough.
And then now they're asking the question with Danny Woodhead out 4 to 6 weeks. Should the Ravens promote Langford?
Probably.
While Woodhead is out for 4 to 6 weeks. But yeah, that's the big thing that I thought was another loser of Spencer Ware. Also, another thing to look into this Chief team this next week, and we'll talk about the game during our picks. They get to play a team that had a really good week against the Redskins, winning 30-17. You get to see Carson Wentz go up against Alex Smith and this Chief team. That's a game that I am really excited for coming into week 2. But before we move on, any things that you think we didn't hit when it came to the Chiefers?
The only thing I want to say is, can we change the flex rules so that way we can flex that Chiefs-Eagles game into primetime?
I would like that.
That'd be great.
I mean, the primetime games, the Sunday night game this week is not bad. No. Falcons-Packers isn't bad.
It's going to be good.
And the only thing that I would want to flex it in for a primetime game is, I get that every team gets a Thursday night game and a short rest, but is anyone going to watch the Texans and the Bengals? Because guess what? I'm not.
Yeah, two pretty bad teams.
I mean, it's Thursday night anyways. Like Johnny was like, hey, want to go see American Assassin for the podcast? I'm like, oh, I can go Thursday. There's not a good game on that night. So, I mean, flex it in that one. I get the short rest thing, and that's why it wouldn't happen. But
plus, we don't flex at this point.
Yeah,
not
we
yet.
don't. Not until late in the year. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know down below. What do you guys think about the Chiefers, the Commander-in-Chiefers, as I like to call them? What did they show you? Are they legit Super Bowl favorites after week 1, and how overreactionary that sounds in itself? Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section.